Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Just to remind ourselves, we had a similar conversation a few weeks ago. And I think one of the questions that I forget, it was Honorable Emasi, the Vice Chair, asked, and I responded that we could just get away from the trouble of the finance bill if we just cut the budget. And now here we are now cutting the budget. So what we had discussed 3 weeks ago is now coming to fulfillment now. We've done quite a good job in our estimates in what we have presented to this, and therefore that's why the changes that we are making in this supplementary are very, very, very minimum. I'll take you through to page 26 on recommendations. That the proposed overall allocation of 127 billion shillings under vote 1071 for the National Treasury, 71.7 billion under vote 1072 for the State Department of Economic Planning, 364 million for CRA, Commission on Revenue Allocation, 679 for the control of budget, be approved subject to the following amendments. Reduction, we hope to reduce the vote 1071 000 with 1.3 billion shillings. That is leasing, operating expenses, leasing of police vehicles in the National Treasury, 300 million from reserves, 652 million from Kenya Revenue Authority, 150 million from that vote for Oracle licenses and annual support, and to increase the following categories. 332 million shillings to go to PPRA for public procurement portal to enhance accountability. So PPRA is the one that essentially checks whether procurement processes are being done correctly. However, it's only based here in Nairobi, and so this is to expand their mandate across the counties. When this rationalization was done, they lost 100 million shillings for their personal emoluments. So we are instating their 100 million for their personal emoluments. We are allocating 438 million shillings to the National Treasury Fiscal Unit, specifically to do a proper study on the optimal tax rates and study consumer behavior, because as we've had this conversation over and over again, sometimes increase in tax rate do not necessarily lead to an increase in collection, and therefore there needs to be very, very robust study that needs to be done to study this behavior and recommend the best optimal tax rates. 337 million shillings to be allocated to National Treasury and a General Administration for Support Services to implement the single treasury account. Again, the committee has been very consistent on being concerned that we have some MDAs that have money that are even putting on fixed deposit accounts at the expense of other MDAs. So we are saying that we need to have a single treasury account, and therefore this 337 million is supposed to help enhance that. 370 million to be allocated to support the finalization of county integrated revenue management system under the State Department of National Treasury. Then vote 1072, 400 million be allocated for super digitalization of the economic plan. We do not have a very good economic planning function as a country. I think a lot of emphasis has been done on the exchequer side rather than on planning, and therefore we want to make sure the State Department of Economic Planning actually does a proper study of its economic planning activities, and they are available to the public through digitization. 400 million for monitoring and evaluation service, again at the State Department of Economic Planning. A second portion of this funding will be dedicated to tracking the implementation of key priorities outlined in the bottom-up economic transformation agenda and the fourth medium-term plan. This involves robust monitoring and evaluation frameworks to assess progress and identify challenges and ensure that objectives are being met. By closely tracking these initiatives, the State Department of Economic Planning can make data-driven decisions and adjustments to improve outcomes and achieve strategic goals. And lastly, one of the entities that we all agree does a very, very good job in terms of holding the executive to account is a controller of budget. So we are instating their 25 million shillings for monitoring and evaluation across the country, and especially in counties. And we do not have a wish list. And that is our submission, Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable KK. Members are saying they wish the finance bill was that brief. So members, do you have anything? Ama tuachilie mheshimiwa aende atutengeneze bili ingine.
CDF, how much is there for CDF?
Yes, Honorable Chair. Please repeat the question for the chair to hear.
Thank you, Chair. I'm just interested to know how much has the Ministry of Planning allocated to National Constituent Development Fund for this financial year?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. If you check page 24 of our submission, clause 73, we are saying during the deliberations with the National Treasury, the committee observed that the allocation of 68 billion shillings include 13.54 billion shillings as arrears for 23-24. So we have provided for the arrears that were not sent to the constituencies due to exchequer challenges. So it is 68.233 billion shillings, including 13.54 as arrears for 23-24.
Chairman, I'm saying, so the actual allocation is 55. That's a marginal slight increment from last year. So it's not being cut. We have only lost the 10 billion we were adding. Honorable Aseka, is that clear? We have only mostly lost the money we were trying to add.
Last year was how much?
Last year was around 53. Yes.
But you realize that if we didn't receive 13, and therefore since we did not receive 13, that is why we are increasing it. So really, the budget for this year will be 55. But because of the 13 we didn't receive, then you have to reinstate it in the budget.
It's actually carryovers. By the time we reached 30th June, 13 had not been paid. And since there is a general rule that CDF does not lapse, then it was budgeted afresh the arrears. That's why it's coming to 68. But Honorable Seka, why are you saying you are recommending the chair to cut something or?
I was recommending that there are some funds within Treasury that are so idle, if we could transfer them to CDF. Like the employment of temporary staff, temporary employees, and somewhere there's account about 10 billion.
With this rationalization, that vote has already been cut. So there is nothing else to cut. That has already been cut.
So, honorable members, that's good speed. So I want to release the honorable member for Molo, the honorable KK, to continue serving the nation. So we wish you a great weekend, Honorable KK.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. It's always a pleasure to appear before the Budget and Appropriations Committee. I understand also the balancing act you need for everyone coming to say we need more resources, we need more resources. And that's why we make it very deliberate. We do not come to seek more resources because we know there is nowhere else to get those new the resources. And wish you everyone a nice weekend.